So we're going to do that. Ball's in your court, Sean.
We getting old, goddammit. Let's get it. We made niggas put them rose bottles up. We made the whole city boss they like fuck. Boss they like fuck. We made niggas wanna go and hit hush. Bitch, we made niggas, you know we love to stunt. We made niggas put them rose bottles up. We made the whole city boss they like fuck. Boss they like fuck. We made niggas wanna go and hit hush. Bitch, we made niggas, you know we love to stunt. We made niggas wanna go and hit hush. Nas, Nari, and Shine. Rhyme with Don Michael when we sitting on shines. Yeah, bitch, this a white tee, this East Laurent. Yeah, how you like that? Told my plug, give me 50, came right back. Now the whole hood jumping like some jumping jacks. Yeah, I love rats, plus I got cheese. Got white bitches, Puerto Rican, Japanese. Rolling green peas, we call it Cali best. Play stupid, get hot ones to your flesh. In the coop, about to put the dash to the test.
All right, let's do this. Looking into next season and what we could be. We're going to start it today. It's the offseason for what's going to be 2030, which is unbelievable. Check out our last game. If you missed it, we beat Penn State 22-13 in the Gator Bowl. Fun game, competitive. Went into the fourth quarter, but run game came alive. That was the difference. Be sure to like and subscribe too before we get going. So we'll take care of everything through recruiting, and we'll stop at the preseason, and we'll split it up that way. So let's see what we can get in today. And what we don't get into, we'll do in the next episode. Let's go. All right, not many reps on the All-American list this year, which is interesting because most years we have a lot of All-Americans, but this year I think we just had the one or two. So Mark Rhodes, first-team All-American at middle linebacker. He had a really, really good senior season here. He had not played at all before this year, but this season he goes off. 85 tackles, 18 for loss, a sack, 4 deflections. Like, he just stepped right in and was an excellent middle linebacker for us. So he certainly deserves that honor. All right, so he was actually the only All-American we have. As far as All-SEC, 2 of our receivers, Tommy Nelson and Sean Brown. Here's Nelson's numbers. Look, I mean, just up, and up every single year. I mean, had a great second season there, even better third, unreal fourth. Had more yards and less receptions, but he became a big play threat, like an even bigger play threat. He increased his yards per catch from 16 to 21 at 10 touchdowns. Just an unbelievable season. Yards after catch, yards per game. Like, this guy was unbelievable. Set school records. We'll look at those in a second. Can't say enough about Tommy Nelson. And then Sean Brown had a really solid junior season. Fell just short of 1,000 yards, but still 3 excellent seasons. A guy that we recruited, we got in our first recruiting class, and I was excited about him. He shows why I was so excited about him. 3 excellent seasons. Nelson picked up the slack, and Robinson was bigger this year, so that's why his numbers aren't as big, but still an excellent season, and he accomplished so much in 3 years. If he goes pro, I mean, that's a heck of a career right there. Couple defensive guys, so Huggins gets on there. He had a pretty solid season. 24 tackles, 17 for loss, 11 sacks, after having just 1 last year, a forced fumble as well. So, you know, he was interesting because one game he'd get 2 or 3 sacks, then he wouldn't get any for the next 4 games. But when you look at the whole, work of what he did the entire season, it's a really good season. So good for him, and he's a guy that I think will be back next year. Of course, Rhodes is on there. If you're All-American, you're All-SEC. And then Roman McCutcheon gets returner first-team recognition for the conference. Few records to go over. So Chris Grant sets the school record for career rushing touchdowns. With it being the end of his career, we talked about this before. This is where it ends, so 54. It's going to be a hard number to reach. So good for him, man. It was a record-setting season for our offense, and that record held for 40 years, it looks like. We have a lot of these. So here we go. Edwards, passing yards in a season. I think he broke his own record, actually, from last year, if I'm not mistaken, looking at this. So back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons, and tops last year by less than 100 yards or so. But good for him, man. Definitely could throw the rock to the right team. That's the only question. And he's also broke his own school record for passing touchdowns in a season. Of course, Georgia Tech primarily been a triple option team, so these aren't insanely big numbers, but still really solid and respectable ones for sure. Sean Brown, the new school record for receptions from a career standpoint, 208. That record only got set recently, so good for him. 3 seasons of dominance, 3 seasons breaking a record. I mean, that's unbelievable. And then Thomas Nelson got a couple. He breaks the school record for receiving yards in a single season at 1,251, about 50 more than the previous number. And then Nelson also sets the receiving yards for a career record with over 3,000, outpacing the prior record by about 300. All right, so looking at this, it looks like we finished the season ranked 26th because we're the team getting the most votes that's not in the top 25. And as you can see, Penn State was in the top 25, so we beat them. Checking in, though, on our former Dynasty team, they played in the national championship but lost to Army in Oregon State there, which means that we beat the national champion team in Army. And that was their only loss of the season. Look at this, look at this. We beat them 50-35 just a few weeks ago. I mean, that just goes to show how talented our team was this year. And because we lost so many close games and racked up those L's, that's why we finished where we did at 8-5. So, I mean, ergo de facto, we kind of won the national championship when you think about it, but that's a bummer. But good to see our former Dynasty team still doing big things. All right, season stats real quick. So Edwards leads the nation in passing yards. I imagine he probably led the nation in passing yards last year too. If he kept the picks down, we won a few more games, maybe he wins the Heisman Trophy. Just saying. Grant, very middle of the pack for running, but had a great final college game there. Nelson finishes 5th in the country in receiving yards. Not too far off from the top guys, so good for him there. Look at this. Michael Huggins leads the nation in sacks with 11, despite not having any sacks in most of the games this year. So that's kind of unbelievable. If he could just put it all together next year, it's a scary team, I'm telling y'all. All right, here we are. Players leaving. Let's take a look at, who might be going pro, who might be coming back. So we'll start with the guys that certainly will go pro. We got Tommy Nelson, who's projected round 1, as he should be. I mean, great career here. He's put up production. He's put up numbers. He's 6'2", 191. He's going to be a great receiver in the NFL. Certainly a downfield threat kind of guy. Chris Grant actually projected to get drafted too in the 4th round, so good for him. I mean, he could be a good pro. He's got good numbers. Was kind of disappointed with him not doing more in his senior season, but the offensive line, there's a lot of things that go into that. So here's his career numbers. Our first season was 27 there, so started out well, 14-12, did the same thing the next year, boosted his touchdowns. Yards after contact, that's where he dipped this year, really, I think. So a bit of an underwhelming final season, but we mixed Dante Simmons more into that running back position. So, there's reasons why he, fell off a little bit here in his senior year, but still a great career. Over 4,000 yards of runs, almost 900 carries, 54 touchdowns, which was a school record, of course. And he could do a little bit of receiving, too. He did that in his 3 years here. Most receptions were last season, but still, good for him. I'm excited to see what he could do in the pro level, and he had a great career with us. And then Sean Brown, the junior, 89 overall, could come back, could go pro. Only projected round 6. That's a little low for him. I really feel like he should be higher than that. And I almost wonder if maybe he should come back because he could do more and be a round 1 pick next year instead of round 6. Because think about it. I mean, if you're round 6, your likelihood of making the team isn't necessarily very high. But it means you do have a shot at the pros right now. And if you get injured next season, you don't have to worry about that. But damn, I don't know if I can let Sean Brown go for a round 6 grade. He's much better than that, in my opinion. You see his numbers, really good, really solid. I think he can do more in the running game next season for us. Yards per reception, great. I know we talked about this. If they want to go, I'm going to let him go. But I don't think it's smart of me as a head coach to let him go and not come back and make some bread next season. Like, the difference between round 6 and round 1, even round 2, is huge. Look what we just did with Thomas Nelson. I mean, he could have gone pro last year. You saw his numbers, 1,000 yard reception. That's a great season. That's a great season. But he came back and he had an even better year. and now he's in the league. So you know what? We're going to convince Sean Brown to come back. All right, what can we do? I feel like this isn't good enough, the college degree. I think we got to guarantee that he'll be a first-round pick, just like Nelson was. I feel like everybody just does the college degree. We got to take a bit of a risk, though. We never really do this, but we have to show him exactly why he needs to come back. We got to guarantee that he'll be a round 1 selection, in my opinion. So we're going to do that. Ball's in your court, Sean. Let's go, baby! Sean Brown coming back for his senior season. We're not letting him go with a 6th-round pick. Mama said she'd kill me if I don't get my degree, so I guess that means I come back. I guess maybe we just needed to say you'll get your degree. But you're going to be a round 1 pick next year, and we're going to circle back to this video when that happens. All right, other guys headed out the door. Michael Schwend, strong safety who played a lot this season, missed a lot of tackles, but he was solid. I think we could do better at that position, but appreciate his efforts. Brandon Bentley, I don't even know if he played this year. Maybe a little bit of right tackle there. Jacob Allen, this guy just never could see the field for us. We had Simmons, we had Grant, there was even another running back in the same class, and this guy just couldn't crack the rotation. Nothing really gave me any reason to put him in. He's a little bit slower than the other guys, so, unfortunately he has an underwhelming career on the field, but at least he got his degree, so he's got that going for him. And he had 2 touchdowns this year, so good for him. Marlon Burley's headed out the door. Loved this guy. He played well this season at 43 tackles, 6 for loss. Hard hitter, not very good in coverage, but a great athlete for us. Marcus Brown's going to be a tough loss. Only gave up 3 sacks this year, 93 overall player. I'm surprised he's not getting drafted, but it kind of felt like our O-line was underwhelming this year, and he might have something to do with that. Corey Fuller's headed pro. Saw a little bit of him. He was good. I would have liked more, but he had a lot of TFLs. 22 in the past 2 years, a couple of sacks. I want someone that's going to be a game wrecker at DN, though, so it wasn't him, but I appreciate what he did. A few more big ones here. Matt Thomas headed out. He was an All-American coming into the season. Did not play like an All-American this year. I mean, he went off last season. 68 tackles, 10 for loss, 2 picks. Similar production this year. Just didn't take that leapfrog step that I thought he would take to be an NFL draft pick. So 2 good seasons, but not fully meeting the expectation. Derek Dean here, he didn't even play behind a lot of linebackers throughout his career. So he's talented, just not good enough to see the field. And Brian Stevenson not getting drafted is criminal. Look at his numbers. I mean, 2 straight seasons of great production, 38 tackles, 30 TFLs between the 2 years. Maybe not much of a playmaker for forcing turnovers, but damn, this guy's fast and a good ball player. So he was really good. He should be playing in the league. He'll be an undrafted free agent, as will Mark Rhodes, All-American in 1 season of work, 85 tackles, 18 for loss, a sack. Talked about him already. He was great. He should be getting drafted. And then Dante Simmons served as our backup for really 3 straight years. Saw his most work last season, and he was solid, good speed. I almost wondered maybe I should have started him this year for every game, but he was good. Not good enough to play in the pros, I don't think. Excuse me, but still a good backup running back career. And here's the other running back that just could not see the field. He never even got a carry, TJ Keith. I mean, he was good enough to play at Sunbelt and other levels like that, but he just didn't want to transfer. And so that's what you got. And then Brock Colvin and Chris Ward here, guys that never really played for us at all. I didn't recruit them, so I got no connection to them, but wish them well with the rest of their endeavor. All right, let's see those draft results. Should be 2 of them. There they are. Thomas Nelson goes in the 1st round, and Chris Grant goes in the 4th. So good for him. 2 more offensive skill position guys on our resume for draft picks. 2 good players, and they're going to ball out in the league, and we'll have more of these draft picks next year. There should have been more on it this year, but it's all good. Sometimes the game be the game. All right, we're into position changes, and that's where we'll cut this episode. So thanks for watching the offseason. We'll come back with the preseason, including this. We might do a 2-parter. We'll see. Thanks for watching, though. Like and subscribe. Team's looking good. We got Sean Brown coming back. He's an NFL receiver that's playing on our team again, so that's going to be exciting. Earl Edwards is back as well. He wasn't involved in the pro decision whatsoever, so he's back. We're looking real good for next year. We got some great pieces. Now let's see what we can do. Catch y'all with the preseason. Make sure you come on back for it. Looking forward to it. Peace.
Hey, yo, Miley, give me the pay.